Hello, one and all. This might be My Hero Academia, Chapter 332, State-of-the-Art Hypersonic Intercontinental Cruise Missile Punch. Oh god, that is a mouthful. That is a serious mouthful, and I love it. I freaking love it, and I love you, Miss Star and Stripe. I mean, seriously, you're not satisfied with just making a 7,000-foot tall version of yourself and then launching missiles at a foreign nation with absolutely no oversight. You had to catch the missiles and literally punch them into Shigaraki's freaking face. Oh, that was beautiful. That was so utterly beautiful. And it did not work at all. I mean, yeah, Shigaraki's a little bit, worn out. It's missing most of his skin, but for him, that's more of a flesh wound, and he's going to recover very quickly. Meanwhile, it seems like he finally managed to get his hands, or at least his hand, on Star and Stripe, and can now steal her quirk, which is bad. Very bad. But she does not look worried or concerned at all. She looks satisfied. Very satisfied. And that smile she has is, really kind of freaking me out a little bit. I mean, what exactly is she thinking here? When I first read this chapter, I thought, she's satisfied not murdering her teammate, her squad mate, the guy that's been by her side this whole time, one of her people, one of her fellow soldiers, and that's why, she's okay dying if it means saving his life, but if Shigaraki gets his hands on her quirk, then that soldier will die. That soldier's entire family will die. America will die. Shigaraki will literally destroy everything. So what's going through her mind right here? I mean, at the start of this chapter, she did this whole thing where she was so upset with herself, never being able to overcome All Might, never being able to reach All Might's level. And I did theorize, in past videos that this is because, she viewed All Might so as godlike that she wasn't able to ever really, imagine herself as being strong as he was. So maybe, she finally managed to overcome that mental block, finally managed to recognize herself as being as strong as All Might because she realized Shigaraki was as strong as All Might. I mean, that would make a certain amount of sense. This is her realizing she can overcome her limits. And next chapter is going to start off with her punching Shigaraki with the full force of All Might. I mean, is All Might stronger than a bunch of missiles? Probably not, so that probably wouldn't win the fight for her, but still, I'd have an issue with that. I would still have an issue with that because it would basically be introducing a second All Might out of literally thin air because this character has never been hinted or mentioned at any point in the series. And if she was, show up right now and solve all the problems, I mean, I would like that. I would love to see her just kicking Shigaraki's butt over and over again, but it would not feel at all satisfying for the story. I mean, seriously, we haven't seen Deku in like 3-4 chapters. It's been a month since we last saw Deku. And I kind of feel like he has to have some sort of role in the finale somehow, some way. So that seems unlikely. Second possibility is that she managed to erase her own quirk. She basically made a rule that said, my quirk no longer exists. Which, I could see that. It does seem like, she's reaching out with her hands to touch her fingers together in that one panel, last panel. So could it be, her touching herself to use the new order to basically eliminate her quirk from existence? I mean, I could definitely see that, self-sacrifice to keep Shigaraki from getting his hands on one of the most powerful quirks in all of existence. That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. Though I think it'd also go, a step further than this if she said, my quirk doesn't exist for the next 7 days or the next month or something like that. Basically creating a countdown to, save Star and Stripe from Shigaraki's grasp, to basically break into Shigaraki's stronghold, Demon Lord's stronghold, to take down all of his allies, take down all the members of the League of Villains, and basically reclaim, save Star and Stripe before the countdown reaches 0, and Shigaraki is able to steal her quirk and literally become a freaking god. That is certainly possible. I could see that happening, but still, that doesn't really answer the main question here. What about her fellow soldiers? Because, regardless what happens with her, they're going to be in a whole bunch of danger now that Shigaraki is right there. If Shigaraki is able to steal her quirk, kill her, whatever, that still leaves your fellow soldiers who will be in so much danger with Shigaraki able to, just come out and murder every last one of them. And I really don't think she wants that, given that she gave up the chance to kill Shigaraki for the sake of saving one of them. So does her plan here somehow involve saving her fellow soldiers somehow, some way? Did she issue a new order that said, my fellow soldiers will be taken to safety? I mean, probably not, given, she's not actually touching them, but But then again, she was able to put a new order on the rocket by having her, giant 7,000 foot tall stand touch it. So is it possible her stand is touching the fellow soldiers and will be able to move them to safety somehow, some way? I mean, I'm not sure, but I think whatever her plan is moving forward, even if it's just to die here, she's going to figure out somehow, some way to protect them, protect the men who, risk their life to fight alongside her. I mean, that's the only thing I can really say for certain right now. Because we really do see the bond between her fellow soldiers, at the start of this chapter. As the strongest one in the world is sitting there pouting because she cannot become as strong as All Might, as strong as, a basic god. And she's so cute. She is so freaking cute, and I love it. And, her fellow soldiers, they give her a hard time. They laugh at her. They mock her. They make jokes. But at no point does any one of them say, after all, maybe it's because Cassie is a girl. They never, look down on her for being a girl, and she loves that. She really does love that. And it really, makes her feel like one of the boys. It really makes her feel as their equal because, I'm assuming for a good chunk of her life, she had to go through issues where people said, oh, you can't be a hero, you're a girl. You can't be as strong as All Might, you're a girl. Stuff like that. And, her fellow soldiers don't look at her that way. They look at her as a literal freaking beast. And that means a lot to her. And oh God, that smile she has is just so, so precious. Please, for the love of all that is good and holy in this world, do not let Miss Star and Stripe die. At the very least, let her live long enough to go reunite with All Might and give him a hug so strong she breaks some of his bones. Oh, that'd be fun. That would be a lot of fun to see. I'd really like that. And I just really do love the coordination between them when missiles are coming in and she has to literally catch them in mid-freaking air. She has to time it exactly right so her fellow soldiers know to fire at Shigaraki at that exact moment to hold him down, to stop him from escaping. And, they do it. They are actually able to fire almost instantly, and it would have worked so, so well if Shigaraki hadn't, dug a hole deep underground. I'll get to that in a second, but really, just the force, the impact of her catching this rocket. Oh, I cannot wait to see this in the anime. I cannot freaking wait to see this in the anime. I mean, you can see it. You can actually feel the impact on her body in this scene. I mean, yes, it's the avatar stamp, whatever you want to call it, not herself, but you can actually feel like the pain in every muscle in her body as she's, literally being yanked forward by the force of these rockets. Oh, that was cool. That was so, so cool and so well done. I mean, that was beautiful. That was such a beautiful moment. But anyway, though, it just seems like Shigaraki is trying to bust out, trying to escape. She takes those rockets and she throws them at the ground. She hits him point blank for a state-of-the-art hypersonic intercontinental cruise missile bunch, baby! Woo woo! Oh, I love it. And the blast from this is fairly large enough where Endeavor can see it from land. And it's actually a little bit curious here because, Endeavor was made aware, like, 4 or 5 chapters ago when this all started, that, she was at war, she was fighting Shigaraki overseas, and yet he's still on the road. Why is he not, going over the water to actually, try and catch up with her there? Why is he still staying on the road with Hawks and Best Jeanist? Was he afraid that he wouldn't be able to deal with Shigaraki himself? He'd get killed, his quirk be stolen? Or, I'm not sure about that. I'm really not sure about that. I mean, definitely feels like a very weird choice there. Most things might be foreshadowing next chapter where Endeavor, rushes in and saves Star and Stripe or saves her soldiers before Shigaraki has a chance to kill them because, he'll be so wiped, so exhausted from this fight that he needs to go back to his cave and recover. Maybe. Anyway, though, as it turns out to absolutely nobody's surprise, Shigaraki's still alive! Though he really, really shouldn't be. I mean, seriously, he's lost basically all the flesh on his body, and he is just in very, very rough shape. Please, for love of all that is good and holy in this world, tell me that he has like a pain nullification quirk, because I literally can't imagine being in that level of pain and still continuing to fight. I mean, either Shigaraki's will is truly, truly next level, or he has to have a quirk in him that's, basically nullifying all the damage, all the pain, and letting him feel, a rather pleasant sensation as his skin is literally regrowing on his body right here. Oh, that must be unpleasant. That must be so, so unpleasant. Anyway, though, it turns out Shigaraki dug a hole deep into the earth while she was, busy trying to redirect those rockets. And as a result, he's able to more or less survive the blast. I mean, like I said, he took a bunch of damage, but still managed to put enough distance between him and the rockets where he wasn't, murdered instantly. So good for him. That was some rather clever thinking right there. And then, yeah, like I said before, she had the chance. She had the chance to finish him off, to kill Shigaraki. if she was only willing to murder her, fellow soldier as well, her comrade as well, but she didn't. She wasn't willing to make that sacrifice, and as a result, Shigaraki grabbed her. I just really don't know what this means moving forward. I mean, is Shigaraki gonna steal her quirk? I just can't imagine that because, it would just make him so overwhelmingly, ungodly, terrifyingly broken. It would just, be next level. It would be next freaking level, and that would scare me. That would really scare me. I just couldn't imagine any way for Deku and his classmates to actually find a way to, win in that case. But on the other hand, if she wins this fight, if she manages to stop Shigaraki, then again, we're left with a case where, she's just too broken, too OP. She'll solve all the series' problems by herself, so what's really the point of anyone else actually being in the story anymore? I'm not sure about that. I mean, the other, like I said before, I think the best case scenario right here is that she will end up stealing her own quirk away, either temporarily or permanently, so that Shigaraki won't be able to get his hands on it. And then the rest of, UA, the heroes, everyone, will have to try and raid the cave to rescue her before the timer runs out, and Shigaraki can steal her quirk. Or, Endeavor will show up, find a way to save her and bring her back to UA, find a way to, let her reunite with All Might and all that, and then she can talk to Deku and the rest of them, explain to them the weaknesses of her quirk, explain to them the ways that, they can exploit her quirk to make sure they don't die the second they meet Shigaraki. I mean, that would make some sense, I think, but please, let me all down below. Does Star and Stripe have some sort of plan to not die here? And if not, what's going to happen next? Will Shigaraki become a god? Will she, self-destruct, kill herself? Are her fellow soldiers going to be okay? Because I can't really imagine a scenario where they don't die, whatever happens next, unless she becomes just, freaking god, goes plus ultra next level, and is able to kick Shigaraki's butt. I really think her soldiers are in a whole bunch of danger. So yeah, curious about that. But please, let me know anything else down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. And until then, peace!